I never remember hearing my dad tell me that I love me until he came out of his coma.
Our kids know how to express their feelings.
Yes.
They'll tell us, like, Mom, I feel scared.
Yeah.
Or Mom, I'm worried about this thing. Whatever it might be. And I am so grateful that they feel comfortable and open, knowing that they can tell us literally anything.
Yeah.
There's no screaming or scolding, and literally all we have to do is say, okay guys, 2 more minutes for your TV, all done. Okay.
Yeah.
There's no arguing, there's no screaming, because it's a mutual thing, because they know Mom and Dad have our best interests at heart. Everything you teach your kids, every little amount of love you give your kids, it's like a form of sadaqah. You're giving charity, and it's going to continue paying off in the long run.
Yep.
And it's going to, inshallah, continue paying you even when you're in the grave. Welcome, sir.
Anyway,
to the Nourished podcast.
Nourished podcast.
Yeah.
I think one thing that is nourishing is the fact that as a parent, you nourish your children.
Yeah.
Actually, as a Muslim parent, you nourish your children and you nourish your children. So one thing that people should probably understand is that you should always be a better version of your own parents.
Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Go ahead.
So this episode is going to be about what our parents got right and things that we're going to also do differently. Because every generation evolves.
For sure.
And your parents took something from their parents and they decided to do things differently. And then you're taking things from your parents, and et cetera, et cetera. And I'm sure the same thing's going to happen with our kids.
Yep.
In the future, inshallah. I want our kids to be better than I am.
So there's a statement that, at least for men, I'm trying to figure where I heard this from. I'll see if my brain recollects as we go. But and that is that your father is the only man who actually wants you to be better than him. From father to son. And that's so true. Like I look at my son and I'm like, man, my hope and my goal is that as good as I am as a parent, or at least that I think I am, I always want to make sure, and my hope and my prayer is that my son will be better than me as a man. Obviously, my daughters as well. We're always hoping for that they'll be better. And so I think it's a natural progression. But I also think that people fall off.
Yeah.
I think that you can have a rocky foundation somewhere down the line, and then somebody says, no, enough is enough. I want to change my life, how I'm parenting my kids. I'm not going to do it how they did.
Yeah.
And that goes and goes and goes. But sometimes kids don't see it that way before it's too late. And so they go off the rails, and then you end up with that almost like generational trauma that comes back now. It's like you just keep kind of doing this, like Groundhog Day. You just keep kind of coming back.
Until you like break the cycle.
Until the cycle gets broken.
Which I find that this is interesting. I feel like this podcast in general, for you especially, being a revert, is something very interesting to explore, because you did kind of branch off your own tree. Actually, you planted your own tree, I should say. And you decided to leave a lot of the lifestyle that you grew up with and are not passing that down
for sure
to your kids.
Yeah. I think that the term that I coined, ratheism, racist atheism, again, to say atheism is even a stretch, because it's like you got to be kind of educated to be an atheist.
You got to know your arguments and all that.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, you would just call...
There's a word for that. What is the word for that?
What?
Like for the people that...
Uneducated atheist?
No. The people that don't believe in God, but they also don't believe in like anything. There's a word for that.
Flake?
No.
Snowflake? I don't know.
I'm going to Google this.
All right, sure. Okay.
You keep talking.
Google has entered the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I ask for your sincere forgiveness. Moving forward, we're going to be using nothing but AI for everything that we do. So...
It just says atheist.
Yeah.
But if they don't believe in any intrinsic meaning, truth, or value in life at all, they're a nihilist.
Okay.
A nihilist. Somebody needs to tell me how to pronounce this word. Nihilist.
Nihilistic.
It's the philosophical stance arguing that life without objective meaning, purpose, or intrinsic value, like life is just life.
Life is
Meh.
useless
It's
and
just
worthless.
meh.
Okay.
I guess that's it. Oh, agnostic is the word I was
Agnostic,
looking for. Yeah, that's the other one. So that's someone who believes the existence of a higher power is unknown, and you just don't know.
No.
Because they just don't know.
No, I was an atheist for
So
sure.
you were an
I was just
atheist.
an uneducated atheist.
Okay, you were a
So I was an
atheist.
uneducated atheist.
So now we got to add the U to
uneducated.
the R. You're a atheist.
You're atheist? You're
Mhm.
atheist. You're atheism. It's a whole new thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't believe in God. So I wasn't on the fence about, is there a higher power? I never
You were just like
contemplated.
straight
I
up,
thought
there's no God.
no God. So yeah, I guess I would fall into the realm of atheism.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting in that when you look at atheism or nihilism or whatever these things, right?
Agnostic, yeah.
Agnostic, right? You don't give life purpose, right?
Mhm.
Religion gives life purpose. Like I'm speaking Islamically, strictly,
Mm-hmm.
but it gives you a purpose in your life. It gives you a set of guidelines, like morality. And this is where atheism cracks, in that, what is morality? Well, morality is subjective, meaning what you view as being moral
Mm-hmm.
is not necessarily what I view.
Versus someone that believes in God sees
course.
morality as what
is
God
is legislative.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And so there's no questioning things like the moral. The moral objectivity is not something that exists, because it's just a fact. It's determined for us. And so in society without that, I mean, what's to stop anyone from doing anything?
Mm-hmm.
Then they say, well, we as a human, we understand right from wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, you still have a corrupt group of people running the world. You still
Mm-hmm.
have Epstein Islands. You still have all these rich, powerful world leaders and all these. They're still doing all this. So how's their objective morality? How's that going? When there is no morality, look what happens.
Yeah.
And I think like the whole Epstein thing, it really exposes, when you do not have a conviction in God, your nafs, your desires will take you to the upside down.
So do you feel like, because you were brought up that way?
Not on Epstein Island. No connection. Never been.
Because you
never got invited.
Because
Nothing.
you were brought up without religion.
Yeah.
Do you feel like how did that shape you? Like, in terms of how you raise your kids now?
Yeah.
Like, because I feel like that plays a huge part in, I mean, obviously your life is completely different now. You've been a Muslim for over a decade. So
almost 2 decades.
Almost 2 decades.
Yeah, it's wild. 17 years this year.
Wow. What?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So I feel like because of that reason, you've obviously, I mean, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to the things that you're taking from your parents and your upbringing, and then the things that you're doing differently. But just to spearhead the whole thing, like being a Muslim now versus being non-Muslim before, how has that shaped how you're raising your kids?
So I think a lot of it, to be honest, how I grew up, where I grew up, the society that I grew up in.
Like the whole lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly. So this was a rumor. I don't know if it's true. I mean, you can Google it. But where I grew up at that time, when I was in my mid-teens, that town was allegedly, it was the #1 highest teen pregnancy rate in Canada.
Oof.
Right? And so
That's insane.
I grew up in a society where kids had kids.
Oh.
Right? And not just kids had kids, but kids, like, there was no like mom and dad. It was all single moms raising kids, because obviously a young guy, like, that just wasn't a thing. Oh, I'm just going to be a man. I've seen it once or twice, but for the most part, it's just, whoops, and you bring kids into the world without planning, without any type of a structure, kids having kids. It's wrong. And so growing up with that, surrounded by that, and then seeing kids grow up in that and be removed by social services, being, broken up from the families. I grew up with Indigenous people, friends of mine. My town was surrounded by, reserve land. And I see how that was so detrimental, having no guidance and nothing, right? Because you're thinking about a people who were stripped of their culture, stripped of their religion, stripped of their way of life, and then imposed upon them was this religion, right? But the interesting part is I know natives whose last name is Christian. I grew up with them. Ain't no Christianity in them whatsoever, right? Because they know that it was just an oppressive thing that happened to their forefathers. And so it was really bad, how society was where I grew up and how I grew up. Violence, drugs, alcohol addiction, all of these generational trauma like you wouldn't believe. And then
you just basically decided one day, I'm just going to abandon everything.
I did,
here.
literally. I literally did in October of 2008.
This episode is brought to you by Lala Hijabs, and honestly, if you've been sleeping on them, wake up. Lala carries exclusive designs, colors, and prints that genuinely you cannot find anywhere else. In jersey, modal, and chiffon, plus accessories to complete your look. They ship worldwide, so no excuses. Use code NOURISHED at checkout for 15% off your first order. That's LALA hijabs.com, code NOURISHED.
Is when I made that decision. Oddly enough, I literally remember when I made that choice.
Crazy.
And I said...
And that caused such a ripple effect.
Yeah. I said, I walked away from everything. No parties, nothing. I just didn't want it. I knew that I wanted something better for my life. And then literally within 4 months, I met you. And then that was like...
It's like
But that's why it clicked.
It's like God was like mentally preparing you.
Yeah.
I feel like.
And this is what we talked about before, right? Like this is why
sign.
it clicked for me the night I met you. I was like, that's
the answer.
Exactly what I've been looking for. That's exactly what I want in a spouse. Is that person with, those traits about them. And lo and behold, obviously it's the religion that gave you the foundation for the way that you lived and grew up. So when we're talking about how we were parented, my parents did the best that they could with what they had, because both of my parents were born into bad environments, right? Alcohol abuse, and it was bad in both of their families. My dad, my grandfather, World War II vet, killed, a lot of people. So you can imagine the PTSD. PTSD wasn't PTSD was not then.
PTSD.
PTSD was just suck it up, like be a man, suck it up, right? And so that's why so many people turned to alcohol, because that was the thing at the time. And then my mom, she lost her dad when she was 10, in a house full of kids, and so her mom went off the rails as well, my grandmother, and. Alhamdulillah, later on in life, everything sorts itself out and they made it through. But growing up in that environment, both of my parents were like, no, absolutely not. We're not going to be like that. We're not going to raise our kids like that. And so growing up, we weren't exposed to alcoholism. We weren't exposed to domestic violence. We weren't exposed to a lot of the things that they had to grow up in, right? Still had problems, as always. I mean, our parents did the best they could. They didn't have therapy. They didn't have counseling. They didn't have all of these things that we have now, where it's like, I need to be a better parent. Well, go listen to Jordan Peterson, but not Jordan Peterson, because he's a loser. But you know what I mean? Like we have so many resources today where it's like, you really don't have an excuse to not better yourself in anything, any avenue that you want.
Yeah.
So I've taken the best of what my parents gave me. They always instilled in me to be an honest person. And some of the biggest and things that I take away from my childhood, my dad, he always said to me, he said, I have 3 rules. And if you can stand by those rules in your life, you'll be better off than a lot of people.
I know those rules.
And it's don't lie, don't cheat, and don't
Yeah.
steal. Right? So for all you wrestling fans out there, Eddie Guerrero, we lie, we cheat, we steal. That was his catchphrase. Anyway, she has no idea what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. She doesn't, nothing. Yeah. But I've really tried to hold on to that my whole life,
Mhm.
you know, and it pays off.
Mhm.
It pays off to be a good person. And I can honestly say, you know, alhamdulillah, that anywhere I've gone, any job that I've had, I've had many jobs
Mhm.
throughout the years. It's not because I've ever been fired, because I haven't been fired. I've just moved from one thing to the next and trying to find what I like. And you know, I don't think that people should just sit down. I'm stuck here for the next 40 years till I retire. That's whack. Live your
Mhm.
life and be happy. But I can literally go back to any place I've ever worked and run into anybody I've ever worked with. And I would guarantee that 99% of them will have nothing but good things to say about me,
Mhm.
just because of how I treated them, right? Because of how I was raised. So those type of things are what I really strive to instill into my kids. That, you know, honesty, you know, be a good person. Don't waste your life making enemies, right? At the end of the day, we're, as Muslims, we simply follow the advice of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and at night he would, before he slept, he would forgive anybody and everything, and it would clean his heart. And that's a big part of how we parent, and how I parent particularly, is that, you know, it's so easy to hold a grudge, and it's so easy to be put into a position where something negative happened to you and you just want to just hold on to that thing, right? But there's literally no point. It's
Mhm.
only hurting you, right? So
It's a long-winded answer, Will, to the question I asked you.
it was a very
You kind of just trailed off.
I answered the question, didn't I? You asked a very deep question. You can't expect a one-line answer. So yeah, I would throw it back at you now and ask you the same question. What is it that, as you grew up and what you've taken from your upbringing, how does that impact how you parent your kids? I mean, I already know
Yeah.
the answer, obviously. So this is more for you guys out there.
Well, there's so many things. I feel like, because my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and both my parents come from a huge family. Like, my dad has like a dozen siblings.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's
Actually, more than a dozen. I think there's 14 of them.
wild.
And most of them are like from one mom. And then my mom's side of the family, there's 4. So they both come from like big families.
I wouldn't even consider 4 a big family.
4 is a big family.
A Pakistani family?
No,
back,
not
back in the
Pakistani
day?
family. Yeah, I guess.
They're like, what is wrong with this family? It's not
Yeah.
fertile. Like, what is going on?
So my mom was raised with only brothers, so she was the only girl. And her like dream obviously was to have a girl of her own, or a sister, or whatever you want to call it, because she was just kind of isolated and like on her
for
own.
sure.
So I had a really, really, really close relationship with my mom. Still do, alhamdulillah. And then I'm the youngest out of 4 siblings. And also with my dad, I'm also close with my dad. Always was close with my dad.
Always was closer than any of the other children
Yes.
with your father.
Yeah.
Let's be
Super
clear on
close with
that.
him. Like,
Yeah.
super close with him.
You're the only one that was there for, like, from the time, because your sister spent time growing up in Pakistan.
Yeah.
He's over here working and stuff. You were the one that was like,
From
baby,
the beginning.
here on my lap.
I literally
Like,
lived with my parents up until I had my second child, even a year after she was born.
Mhm.
That's a really long time to stay in the
Almost
same
2
house.
years after.
Yeah. And like be close with your parents. When
Yeah.
I went to university, when I went to college, even when I started working, like professionally after the 4 years, I was still living with my parents. So
Mhm.
like super close with both of them. And because of that relationship that I had with my parents, obviously it was like very much attachment parenting.
Yeah.
Very much. So my mom or my dad used to take me to school every single day. My mom used to walk me
Wow.
to school every single day.
Wow, how we differ.
Yeah. She used to come and like if I didn't have a lunch that day, she would like come with a hot lunch and like make sure I ate my meal. Like she was amazing. And same with my dad. Like my dad always there for anything that I ever need. Like if I ever wanted to just go to the library, he would just go and just let me do my thing and just sit and read newspapers. Or if I had a dream of becoming a salesperson, he would take me to the dollar store and say, like, buy whatever you want for your little shop. And I would buy like candy and then I would sell it to my friends.
Hustler.
But like in general, they just supported me in like anything I wanted to do. And I think being a child and being a teen or whatever, just anything that has a huge impact on how you see the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that
it's looking at that, like, I always think of you as like one of those like fresh-eyed little like Bambi, like, wow, the world is like such an amazing, wow.
that's me.
And like I'm the hunter that's shooting Bambi's mom. Like that's kind of my world. And
no, that's me. Totally. And I always saw the world that way. Even like when I met you, like like I was sheltered 100%. Obviously I'm a young Muslim girl, but at the same time, I feel like my parents really like laid a solid foundation. Like my mom and dad had very strict rules and I followed those rules. For instance, like I was never allowed to go over to a friend's house if their mother was not there.
Yeah.
There's so many instances where I wasn't allowed to go to a birthday party because it was just a dad there and the kids or whatever. Like, and no sleepovers, and they preferred friends to come over to my house instead. And at that time, obviously, like I never understood what that was about, but I get it now.
Like,
I'm that
damn,
parent.
Mom and Dad, you were right.
I'm that
100%.
helicopter parent, and I totally get it.
I always we're not helicopter parents. We are helicopter gunship parents.
Basically.
Yeah. We will smoke you out the sky. Like that's the kind of parents we are.
Yeah, and I see that and I understand why that is. Like, I mean, for me, even as a kid, like I co-slept with my mom for years. And I mean, obviously we didn't have a lot of space in my house, but I had no other choice at the time. But just in general, just the security of feeling close to my parents, always felt like I could tell them whatever I needed to tell them. Just feeling super loved and like passing down like to my kids. My gosh, our kids are our world.
100%.
I can't even explain the relationship that we have with our kids. Like every second I get with my kids, I'm hugging and kissing them and I'm constantly telling them how much I love them. And
I think that's a
there is nobody else that they care to please in the world except you and me, because we are their world. They are our world.
Yeah.
And I always want them to know, like, we'll always be there for them.
You know what's whack? I won't say this, but my dad and I, from the time I was probably like 15 till he passed away when he passed away in 2018, right? So a long time, 10, 15 years, whatever. Like we were like the best of friends. And so my dad is, if you were to look at him, he's a big, scary looking guy, bald head, big beard, tattoos, biker. And so I looked up to him so much as a kid, right? But and this hurts to say, but I knew I was loved, but I never remember hearing my dad tell me that I love me until he came out of his coma.
Oh my gosh.
And that was like, 3-4 years before he died.
Wow.
And then
not even as a kid.
No.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I distinctly remember going up to my dad and my mom every night before bed saying, I love you, and giving them a kiss and getting a kiss back and saying, I love you. Like that was the thing. I wouldn't go to bed without that every day.
Exactly. That's the point that I'm making, is that with our kids, I tell them I love them 100 times a day.
100%. All the time. Anytime
second. I walk away from them, whatever they're doing, whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Even after we're done this podcast, like we're going to go and see our kids and they're going to run up to us and literally hug us.
Yeah.
That is their instinct. Like they're not in a corner playing with their things and like, oh, mom, dad's back. Like that's not the thing. Like we are each other's everything.
And I think
I love that.
So I think that it's really important because for me, like, my dad's a man's man.
Mm-hmm.
His dad was a man's man. I'm not. Like I am, but I'm not. When it comes to my kids, man, I am the
soft
squishiest
spot.
teddy bear. I have read stories to my kids without fail every night of their life, bedtime stories,
Since they were
for 10 years.
newborns.
All of them, yeah.
I remember in the beginning, like, you used to read them stories. You used to read Amina stories. And she was just a few weeks old. She couldn't even, like, open her eyes. Like, she was just tiny. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, what are you reading stories? Like, she's not going to even understand at this age. Like, wait a few months or whatever. But it was just your thing.
Yeah. And I never had that thing. Like, I never had that kind of a relationship with my dad, right? Like, my dad was, our relationship as I got older, but when I was young, it was like, and I mentioned wrestling, right? That was our thing. Like, I was such a WWF nerd. Like, and so that's kind of how we connect through sports, right? But my dad being injured in a logging accident in the 70s, right, was really limited in what he could do. So playing ball when I got a little bit older, like 7, 8 years old, that was another thing that we did. And my dad was a jerk when it comes to playing baseball. Like,
he used to throw it really hard.
Oh my God. And he would throw sidearm. So it's a little bit harder to read when the ball's coming from here as opposed to coming straight here. And I'm like this 7-year-old kid with this like little glove, and oh my God, he would throw hard.
Yeah.
Right? Because
So do you
and
feel
he would
like
throw it right at my head.
Do you feel
right here? And he was
gosh.
his aim was incredible.
That's crazy.
So as long as I had my glove, I'm gonna catch it, right? But sorry to cut you off.
Do you feel like his version of parenting was like the tough kind of
100%.
like like got to toughen you up, son?
Yeah.
That kind of
Yeah, for sure. And I'm thankful for it, right? Like I never felt unloved. I just didn't hear it. My mom was a different story. Like I was a mama's boy, right? And when I was little, I was a mama's boy. And I remember one time I was in grade 1 and I don't remember what it was about. We were living on our boat, and she used to drive us to the school bus stop, and I was mad about something. I don't remember what it was. And I got out of the car and then to get to the bus, and she said, "Okay, love you." And I refused to say it back.
Oh yeah, you told me about this.
And I'm not kidding you. That day was the worst day of my life.
Aww.
I was so sad, and it broke my heart that I didn't say that back to my mom. And then
at the end of the school day,
I got on the bus, I got off the bus, and I ran to her and I just cried, and I was like, "I'm so sorry." I got tears in my eyes right now. Right? So I had love, and I knew what love was.
Yeah.
But with my dad, it was a different kind of love. And for my kids, I don't want them to feel that. I don't want to be. I don't want
any holes.
Yeah,
You don't want them like guessing ever.
Yeah,
like
I don't want our relationship, because we parent like we're very similar. Like it's we don't do like we do kind of good. We're not really good cop, bad cop, or whatever. But we parent the same way. Like we show affection the same way.
So much,
right?
yeah.
Everything we do, we kind of do the same. So, like, yeah, we can be firm and stern with our kids, and not do this, or we can whatever it might be. For sure, we're on the same page there. But in terms of not telling them how I feel, no. There's no
the
way.
thing is I feel like in general, like our parents' generation, the words, the feelings, outward feelings were not
outward
there.
displays of affection?
No, it's like it's hard to put words to what I'm trying to say. Basically, understanding how you're feeling and expressing that feeling was not a thing back then.
But again, think about how
now,
they grew up.
It
right?
is now, because like our kids,
we're all a bunch of sissies.
No, our kids know how to express their feelings.
Yes.
They'll tell us like, "Mom, that made me uncomfortable," or "Mom, I feel scared."
Yeah.
Or "Mom, I'm worried about this thing." Or, "Mom," like whatever it might be. And I am so grateful that they feel comfortable and open, knowing that they can tell us literally anything. Anything. And we've always told them, we'll never get mad at you ever
Yeah.
for
I literally
anything.
just told Zainab today.
I know.
Because there was a crazy thunderstorm last night. Some of the loudest thunder I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And obviously we wake up instantly. We both know that Yusuf's going to wake up. I'm going to have to go and get him, but I got to go check on the girls first because they're awake. And then I told her that I was like, don't you ever
feel
scared to come and crawl into bed and feel safe and secure.
Yeah.
Right. Because
even if it's just a sound.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And I feel like our parents, I think that's just the generation, that they all kind of,
because feelings they were a sign of weakness is what I'm trying to get at. Like, I feel like that generation, they just felt like maybe it was a sign of weakness, not being able to express how you genuinely feel.
But interestingly enough is that when we look at like the neuroscience behind this, when we look at the psychology of this, it's actually so wrong to parent kids like that. Without that attachment parenting, and attachment parenting is what we're all about. We don't cry it out because it's an absolutely devastating emotional trauma for a child, whether you like to admit it or not. Facts are the facts and they don't lie.
The science has proven it. Hundreds and hundreds of psychologists have come out and have papers on papers about
your sleep is not worth traumatizing your children literally for the rest of their lives because you want them to have a good clean night's sleep, whatever. But I think that they didn't grow up the way that we did, and their parents, again, how they grew up, they looked at us and they're like, I got to be better, I got to do better, and so they tried to get rid of the bad stuff they learned, and most people. Maybe not so much from your culture, right? Because your culture is a very tight-knit family culture, right? My culture, there's that word again.
More independent.
Well, yeah, you don't really, when you become a parent, you're kind of winging it.
Yeah.
Like you don't raise your kids in your mom and dad's home. So you don't have mom and dad to help you. And so you're kind of just going it alone, right? And so when you do that generation after generation, you're really just kind of taking, and it sucks because as parents get older and become grandparents, that's like the best time because they've softened for one.
Yeah.
They want to spend time with the grandkids because, you're their child and you're all grown up now and it makes them sad, but they get to kind of live vicariously through that relationship. Everybody thinks and says that same thing, that like my parents are so much nicer to my kids than they were with me.
Obviously,
right?
yeah.
So that fact that in that Western culture, grandparents don't play that part like they do in Desi culture. Yeah. I think it's a travesty where that the families aren't close, tight knit. We're talking about the whole like old folks homes or care facilities and these type of places. I think that part is so important to keep family in the lives of everyone. Yeah. And so
it is important.
I really value that we do now, we try our best. Your mom lives with us, so alhamdulillah we have that. But being able to benefit from the grandparents and their wisdom for our own children, because our children are growing up with a grandparent in our home, and they get to pull all the wisdom of that.
It's not just the wisdom. There's actual science behind. Parents actually live longer if they are around young children.
Of course.
It is a fact. And there's also benefits for the children too, in terms of attachment, their worldview, like all these things. There's so many actually studies about that relationship and that dynamic and how it benefits both sides.
100%.
It doesn't just benefit us
and it makes
to
me
have,
so happy.
a babysitter or whatever.
It
but
makes me so happy living here in Malaysia and you see Asian families.
I love it.
It's always grandma and grandpa taking the kids for a walk and to the park and packing them.
Cute.
And it's so cute.
But that's the thing is like you see that and it's like I think of the parents that are not around grandchildren, and I hate to use the word, but they're like rotting.
Yeah.
Like there is no purpose left. Their kids have flown the coop. they're alone. Like, what do they have left to do?
Yep.
Whereas if you see the parents that are around grandchildren,
They
it's
have
like
life.
they have life in them.
Vigor.
They want to get up. They want to, see
They don't
the
have a
exciting
choice.
things.
They have to get up.
Yeah, like they want to see the potty training. They want to see the schoolwork. They want to do, make Play-Doh or whatever it may be. Like, and it's beautiful on all sides. And so I think that's the attachment aspect of how we've carried that forward with our kids is huge. And I think the gentle parenting aspect of it is also super key for us.
Yeah.
There's no screaming or scolding or like none of that. Like we get to our kids' level and they look at us and literally all we have to do is say, okay, guys, 2 more minutes for your TV. All done. Okay.
Yeah.
There's no arguing. There's no screaming because it's a mutual thing because they know mom and dad have our best interests at heart. There's no arguing. There's no meltdowns.
They understand it.
It's like that for anything. It could literally be anything. Hey guys, in 5 more minutes, we're going to go to bed. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Okay.
Or one more slide.
Or one
Even
more
Yusuf's
slide.
like, one more slide. Okay.
At the playground. Yeah.
3 more and then we're good to go.
Yeah, literally. I know the one usually ends up being a few, but yeah.
But when he says, okay, it's time to go, there's no arguing question.
Yeah.
And I think, we talk about this a lot and that we were blessed with the family that we have. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. And then I look at other kids and I look at other families and I look at other parents and I question, and I said this from the beginning, right? Like with Amina, when we only had one kid, we were like, wow, like this kid is amazing.
Yeah, this
Her
kid's the
manners
easiest kid ever, and she's the
ev-
sweetest little thing.
everything, right? And then we I remember talking about this, and we're like, is this just like we got lucky, or is this because of how we parent? Like,
Oh my
what
God,
is
yes.
the thing, right?
Yeah.
And then Zainab came along.
That's right.
And it was the same thing.
the same
She's
thing.
the same sweet, kind, caring, compassionate, well-mannered,
So sweet.
gentle, all of these things. And then now we're like, okay.
We're like,
So
okay,
maybe she's
so we
just
got
taking
lucky
after
with
her
2.
sister.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
And then now Yusuf. And again, a boy is a totally different dynamic.
Yeah.
And I was not prepared for
Yeah.
the difference
For the
between a boy and a
energy
girl.
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's way more emotional than the girls and all this sort of stuff. But the kindness, the compassion, the listening,
So
the caring,
sweet.
all these sort of things. So then I'm like,
It definitely, like,
many
did we get lucky 3
coincidences-
times?
how
Or
many
is it the
coincidences-
parenting? Is it the fact that we are so close with our
Mhm.
kids? Is it the fact that our kids are literally like our best friends and we're able to just meet on a level where they feel so loved and so safe and so taken care of?
yeah, I think so.
They're just amazing humans. Anyone that meets, okay, I
Yeah.
hate to toot our own horn, but literally anyone that has ever met our kids,
Yeah.
alhamdulillah, has always said the same thing.
Yeah.
That they are the most well-mannered children they've ever met.
Yeah, and this is coming from people who have traveled with them,
Yes.
right?
And
Not just-
traveling with kids, man, if you ever travel with kids,
Yeah.
other kids, not our kids are amazing, alhamdulillah, but it brings everything out.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean,
we've traveled with a lot of people.
We've
and
traveled through refugee camps with other families. And it's like the other kids, I'm done, I want to go, I don't want to be here. Our kids are like, just like taking it all in. And again, it's not to knock other people's parenting methods or whatever, because they're doing the best that they can with what they had, right? And so maybe they were worse off than we were. Maybe our parents gave us a little bit more or were a little bit more generous with their knowledge or whatever it might be.
Or maybe even the opposite. Maybe we just, the things that we learned, we decided to do things differently.
Yeah.
And that's why they are how they are.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
I don't know either. Like,
know.
I feel like, and also we homeschool our kids too. And this
That's
part
a
shocks,
huge
this
part
part
of
shocks
it.
a lot of people, but like our kids are not away from us for 8 hours a day.
No.
And
They're not away
Amina's-
from us for 8 minutes a day.
Yeah. And Amina literally is starting grade 6 in September, our oldest.
Yikes.
And she has never been to school. Our kids have never been to school. And
Alhamdulillah.
the fact that we are with them 24/7 is such an incredible blessing. But what that does, I think, is shape them even more to be even more incredible human beings. Because
To be honest,
Yeah.
I think that's choosing, right? Because we did. We chose to homeschool our kids. And I don't know. In the Western society in the Western world, even in the East, times are tough, right? So it's not applicable to everyone. You can homeschool your kids because you both work from home or whatever it might be. But I look at it a little bit differently in that the most important job we have is parents, is parenting, right? Is raising our kids.
Hijra is one of the most asked about topics in our community, and we've literally been living it. We put together a 100-page guide on how to actually make the move to Malaysia, covering everything from visas, daily life, to finding your footing in a new country. Real information from a family that's actually done it. Grab it at nourish.com. The link is always in our show notes.
So that they become the best humans possible. And so when we choose to put them into school or daycare, maybe not choose, maybe are forced to, because again, I mean, when you have mom and dad working, can still barely make ends meet, kids in daycare, these ones are in school. There's no real family unit there. There's no, your kid is being influenced by these other kids more than they are you. So whatever you're trying to teach your kids, they're unlearning it. They're soaking in whatever is going on at school. And look, man, I feel so bad for parents because they work a 9 to 5, they come home, they're exhausted. They don't want to do all these things that you need to do as a parent. They don't want to cook and clean, and you got to take your kids to the parks, and they got to go this, and they want to do here, and they want to do that. And so it's really like a systematic problem. That doesn't allow, I mean, homemakers, right?
But especially in America, because the way that it's set up, there is no maternity leave.
I was going to say, like, maternity leave.
It's just a few weeks long, and that is gut wrenching. Like Yusuf is, I'm now 3 years postpartum. And he still needs me like he needed me when he was a few weeks old. And to just think that a parent or the moms in America have to separate that bond is, oh my God, I would just cry myself to sleep every night. That is so heartbreaking. Whereas European countries, they allow maternity leave up to like 18 months. It's like the standard. Same with Canada. Like, we're super fortunate. But I just feel like, just like you said, like the system is broken. And if you think about how things were way back when, I'm thinking like the olden days, both parents were basically home. The dad would go out, farm the fields, feed the chickens, whatever.
Way back.
I'm going this back. I'm going this far back. And mom would be at home homeschooling the kids. And then they would just be a family. They would just, and then the 9 to 5 started, and the grind started, and the factories started. And then slowly by slowly, hate to say it, but
Agenda 2030.
Formula came into the picture and stripped the mom from the kids, and then that's it.
It was all a plan.
The child parent relationship was severed, and it's never recovered. In that sense, because that's just how the system is designed. It's designed to keep you working, and it's designed to just not allow you to have the relationship with your kids that you should have.
I mean, this is, I think, might be a whole other conversation, but I mean, when you understand why the push for women to join the workforce, it wasn't because moms wanted to destroy the relationship or sever that relationship with their children. It's because the government wanted 50% more people paying taxes. And this is why the movement, look at JD Rockefeller, look at these people, actually do some research on it. And it's not conspiracy, like, it's a fact. There were organizations and people and governments pushing this agenda, because agendas are a big thing, pushing the agenda to separate mother from baby formula. It's better. It's what a joke. I'm sorry to say. Baby formula is the biggest scam in history. Don't even get me started. I think we're going to definitely do an episode talking about that kind of stuff. Fed is best? No. Breastfed is best. Don't even. Anyway, so this notion that women need to go to work, rights, get you voting, get you this. I mean, voting, absolutely. Everybody should have a say in who's governing them. Like it really matters. I think we've kind of learned that over the years. It doesn't matter who you vote for, red or blue, pink, orange, yellow, green. It doesn't matter. It's all the same scam. But the whole idea of breaking the families apart, This is a plan. This has been this way. They want money, 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 money.
Yeah,
and what good is a woman at home when she could be paying taxes?
It's a capitalistic society. That's how it's set up to be. And it's
a
unfortunate.
demonic
It's unfortunate
society.
because the kids in the end are the ones that get shafted.
Don't blame capitalism.
So, yeah.
Blame the devil.
I'm gonna.
No,
Yeah.
no. Capitalism is a beautiful thing. It gives everyone an equal opportunity to succeed. But the problem is that realistically, the whole
People
notion
still
of
suffer.
capital. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
of course, but they'll suffer. Look at communism. How many millions of people have died because of communism or fascism or all these sort of things? This whole capitalism is definitely one of the best because it gives you the opportunity to rise from poverty. But realistically, it's kind of just a scam because it's really just about rich people getting way richer whilst giving some breadcrumbs to the rest of us, right?
Yeah.
So, I think it's
a heavy loaded topic, and when it boils down to it, I'm super grateful for the upbringing that I had. I'm
Alhamdulillah.
sure you are too.
Alhamdulillah.
You know, alhamdulillah, like our parents did absolutely amazing, and the things that I learned from them, I'm definitely passing on to my kids. And
I think that's also a beautiful thing because we talk about that quite frequently. The force, right? The force, the yin yang, whatever. And we balance each other out because you were super sheltered. You grew up cultured. You grew up with religion. You grew up safe and sound. I grew up on the other side of the tracks.
That's right.
I grew up in a place that wasn't a nice place. I grew up with, around all of these problems. And so we as parents together, we know now.
We take that like middle road where it's just.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we
PG.
know from my perspective, right? As a father, I know the horrors of society. I know what demons lurk outside those doors, right? You really don't.
No, I don't.
Right?
No.
So, and on the flip side, I don't know, and I wasn't raised in that super sweet, super safe, like.
Yeah.
And I really think that the reason we're able to succeed at so many things is because we're so different.
Yeah.
Like,
Alhamdulillah.
I mean, people might think this is ridiculous, but we hate everything that each other likes. Pretty much.
We are complete opposites, guys. We should do a whole podcast about how different me and Will are.
Yeah.
In our likes, in our interests, in the shows we like, in the sports, and literally everything. We're total polar opposites. But when it comes to parenting, we're literally
100%.
on the same, not even the same page. We're on the same sentence.
Yeah.
In the same word.
Yeah.
On the same letter.
Yep.
Like we are that.
Yep.
Solid.
And I think you have to be.
Alhamdulillah.
I don't think you can have two parents parenting children with two different parenting methods. Like I'm crying it out and you're crying because I'm crying it out with the child and you're screaming because you don't want the child to cry it out. And you know what I mean?
What a mess that would be.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's, you really got to be on the same page.
Yeah, you do.
And you got to find that, not just the same page, you got to find the same book. You got to be kind of pulling from the same book, same chapters and doing things because your children are smart. They will see through you and they will take advantage of you.
Yep.
And they will end up running the show. And this is what happens.
Yep.
Right? How many parents, the kids, they just lose their mind about something. So stuff an iPad in front of them. Right? They are not dumb. They are way smarter than we are. Right? Our kids, and alhamdulillah, we should always be grateful for that, that our kids are smarter than we are. Our parents could never parent us in this generation.
No.
They barely made it.
Through the age of
our parents,
technology.
like my dad was born in 51
Yeah.
and never used a computer in his life. He couldn't. He just wouldn't. I mean, he refused, right? And then I'm growing up with computers and the internet and all these sort of things. And my dad has no idea. Same thing with us, right? Our kids are growing up with AI now. We have really no idea. Yeah. So I think that you have to be on it. You can't have one foot in the door when it comes to parenting.
Yeah.
You got to be on the same page and you got to rock this like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
And God willing that by making these sacrifices for our children now, that they will make the sacrifices later on to take care of us.
Yeah, that's right. And I think if anything, this entire podcast, I hope that the listeners take away that we should always just strive to be the best version of ourselves and the best version for our kids, in the hopes that, inshallah, one day it'll pay off. And think of it like sadaqah jariyah, like especially if you're Muslim, everything you teach your kids, every little amount of love you give your kids, it's like a form of sadaqah. You're giving charity, and it's going to continue paying off in the long run. And it's going to, inshallah, continue paying you even when you're in the grave in the afterlife. So let us know in the comments, you guys. I'm curious, like, what are some things that you kept from your parents that you are now doing with your kids that are like non-negotiables? Love to hear that in the comments.
I think traditions are an important thing, right? Like if you've ever watched This Is Us, the traditions that are passed down in the Pearson family because of things that have happened and whatever else, that's super cool. That's a whole other thing, but I think everybody should definitely build on that. Take what is from your family and move forward. Yeah,
that's right.
That's it.
Thank you guys for watching and listening, and make sure you click like, subscribe, and
notifications.
We'll see you again next week.
All right, guys. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.